For as long as we can remember, all people groups have had one common practice: religion. It's not known how many religions there are on our planet, it's an uncountable number, counting the religions practiced in the heart of the African jungle to the time of Earth's beginnings. As Christians, we know and believe in the Bible. The question is, what makes us any different from any other religion? We all have the same claims. How do we know that we really are the people of the one true living God as we believe? Like every other work of history used to study the past, the Bible has been tested to determine if it's accurate. There are 3 tests used: the internal, the external, and the bibliographic. The bibliographic test is the first. For this test, the document must contain eyewitness accounts or accounts of eyewitnesses. Second, there has to be more than one copy of the document to compare it with. If there's one copy in Greek and another in Hebrew that matched, you know that nothing was changed during the translation process. But even more important is the time lapse between the copies. If, for instance, these 2 copies of the Hebrew and Greek were written 100 years apart and were still consistent, we know that over the years there's a better chance that mistakes or changes were not made to the original. The Bible has over 24,000 copies, some made within 50 years and others within 400. The Bible passes this test better than Plato and Iliad's works, which are considered trustworthy today. Next, the external test is the investigation of archaeological evidence and proof that we can see. If the book gives reference to a city, does that city exist? Does the book contradict already known historical facts? Not only are these physical places questioned, though, but the events also. The Bible has been compared with the works of Flavius Josephus and Cornelius Tacitus, both whom were not Christians, therefore removing all biased opinion they may have had. These 2 writings list important events in the Bible, like the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The third test, the internal test, checks to see if the document contradicts itself. This is hard because of word meaning and language translation. But what does science have to say? Science is based on the belief that every scientific law and practice on Earth will always be the same and will never change. But the fact that we assume all things as we know it today will be that way tomorrow cannot be proven. What if tomorrow everything changed? Gravity, the atmosphere, our seasons and time all started working differently than they had before because of some dramatic event. Science would have no way of proving anything if we didn't already know that the Earth would go on working the same in the future. If the amount of oxygen changed because of some dramatic event, every process on Earth would change with it. It is because of the promise that we have from God that science can prove anything at all. God said to us in Genesis 8:22, "While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease." My passion is to understand God's word better, and I want people to see too that this is God's word, and that it's solid, and that nothing can change that. It's time for people to start seeing that the Bible isn't made up, but that it's God-breathed. He doesn't have to give us any evidence for what He says is true, but He does anyway. The truths are in the Scriptures and in His love that He gives to us every single day. So that is my passion.